Today we're talking about sustainability and how it's become ever more important post-COVID.
Sustainability for me very simply means zero waste. How you make, to how you source, to what you make and how it's disposed.
We're meeting with Rhea In, who is the CEO of Ecoware, which builds biodegradable disposable products. Let's see how sustainability applies to her business. Thank you, Rhea. Thank you so much for joining us on the Original Women Network. Great to have you.
Thank you, Aditi. I'm really excited to be here.
Perfect. And congratulations on your Nari Shakti Puraskar. That's a really big one. So that's amazing. So let's hear about you and what made you start Ecoware.
Sure. So just by way of background, I'm a pharmacologist. I used to work in the UK for Pfizer. I specifically worked in oncology, looking after breast cancer and colon cancer. And I think that's really where, for me, the science of the negative health impact of plastics kind of set in for me. And when I got married and I moved to India, I was honestly really shocked at the amount of plastics people were using, right? That was one thing, without understanding the negative health impact. And also the fact that we threw all our waste in one dustbin. We till today have no formal waste segregation systems, and I was honestly surprised because I've grown up saying, okay, your plastic in one, your paper in the other, your glass in something else. And so I think for me, I just wanted to, I'd had enough of the pharma world. I said, okay, this is not for me. And decided to become an entrepreneur. And, I wanted to create a product that was safe for humanity to eat out of, as well as for the environment in terms of disposal. So, which is really how Ecoware was born.
And what are the sort of industries that you are servicing right now?
So we work across various industries. One is the travel sector. So we are very much present in airport food courts. We are now entering, so especially in this COVID scenario where everyone's worried about using reusables and they're looking to use, biodegradable disposables. We're now sort of entering the private aviation catering sector. One of the feather in our caps a couple of years ago was that we converted the Indian Railways. We got them to get rid of their aluminum casseroles that they had served food in, for many, many years. We worked with them for about 10 months. We innovated from their kitchens, etc., and we created a product that was bespoke to them. So the travel sector is one. QSRs, so quick service restaurants, so the likes of Haldiram's, Subway, Cinnabon, and now more and more sort of even smaller restaurants that are moving to more delivery models in the current environment. They're all sort of using Ecoware.
Perfect, great. So we are talking about sustainability today and we're going to just deep dive into this. Let's see what you understand by sustainability. Let's break it down and not use any difficult words. Let's try and explain it to our audience.
Sure. I think sustainability for me very simply means zero waste. Okay, so, and I'm talking from start to finish, from how you make to how you source, to what you make and how it's disposed. So I'm looking at this total closed loop, design product. And that's what sustainability means to me. And I think what's also important when you talk about sustainability is that you are authentic about what you make. There's a lot of greenwash in the market and we're now in 2020. I mean, the planet's on fire. We have multiple issues. I really don't think there is time for false solutions. I think we need genuine people doing genuine things, and that's what really sustainability means to me.
Perfect. So sustainability, you have defined it as zero waste, right? But there is also a component where you are being responsible to the environment, to the society, and to governance as well. So if you could help us with this topic, which we call as ESG, how does that apply to your business?
So, like I touched upon earlier, Ecoware was founded on sort of three guiding principles for us. The one is safety. The second is creating impact in everything in everything that we do, so ESG. And the third is authenticity, which I just touched upon as well. So staying away from the greenwash, right? So we're really proud of the impact we've created in the last 11 years. From an environmental perspective, just last year we displaced over 50 million pieces of single-use plastic. And the way we see that is, we made and sold 50 million pieces of Ecoware and hence got people to use that versus plastic. 100% of our revenue is derived from a circular economy model. Again, that brings it back to sort of the zero waste and sustainability aspect. And we've been recognized by the World Economic Forum, by FICCI, sort of for our work in the circular economy space. From a social perspective, we created an industry that never existed before. So we've created employment, direct employment. So we have a team of over 120 people, 90 of which are labor and used to have basically seasonal employment. And now by working, there's no seasonality in our business, right? So by working for us full time, they have the benefits of that too. And obviously there's the indirect employment as well. So, our transporters and the whole sort of economy that you build, right? And something that I'm really passionate about is increasing the role of women in manufacturing. So we're really proud of the fact that 30% of our team is women. Our factories out in UP in Greater Noida, and I know that when I started, we had absolutely no women whatsoever, and it's the effort that's taken to build that, right? And I think from just from a health perspective, I mean, the less plastic you use and the less you expose yourself to plastic, where you reduce your risk of disease. So, ESG is basically in absolutely everything that we do, how we conduct ourselves, what we make, and that's sort of the bedrock of the organization. When we started, there were no industry standards, right? So we've kind of just built the industry standards as we've gone along. We've certified, sorry?
I'm saying they're not there today either. I think there is a...
So we've looked at, right from the start, we've looked at not just Indian bodies, but global bodies as well. Right. To make sure that we've got, the fact that we say that we're backyard biodegradable. You put our products in soil, they turn into soil in 90 days. That was certified by the USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture. I know now in India you do have Sept and you have some regulation, but I still don't think there's enough that distinguishes authentic solutions in greenwash. And I think that a lot more can be done. But in the meantime, we do look at global certifications to kind of test our products.
Perfect. Great. Let's talk about what are the business advantages of being sustainable. Do you get a cost advantage to that?
When we started, we were, maybe twice the price of plastic, basically 11 years ago. As we've scaled, we've passed on the benefits of the economies of scale, right? And we've reduced that price differential between plastics and us. So we're now at a 15%. So, and I think the other thing also to point out is the fact that the consumer mindset is shifting. Very few people are even having cost conversations with us now. I mean, people are normally like, the conversations we have are, can you brand? Can you make this our size? Can you customize? How quickly can you get this to us? So we're having very few cost conversations.
Are we at a stage where we could actually price our products higher because they are sustainable?
I mean, look, they are priced higher because they are sustainable. It's not that it isn't. But what I mean, I think that we're still lobbying for. So, for instance, we're still sort of trying to reduce our GST exposure, right? We are exposed to a 12% GST, which we feel if was lower and you made the product more economically viable, there would be more adoption, right? And in 1.3 billion people, yes, we may have gotten, market share in tier 1 and possibly starting in tier 2 as well. But the point is that we want people to stop using plastic.
So what do you think, what are some of the strategies that you could give to our viewers who want to make businesses which are sustainable?
Very simply, I think going forward, Aditi, your business, your brand has to be sustainable. Okay, I mean, I say this to everybody. You've got to educate all your stakeholders. You've got to be proud about the fact that you're being sustainable. And you've got to differentiate from the greenwash. You've got to showcase your power of innovation, which I don't think a lot of people do, or they don't find is their strength in that. And I think that, personally, I feel climate change isn't something that you can escape. People think it's not going to affect you. It will. We see extreme floods, heat, all of that sort of stuff. And it's going to affect your productivity, right? Ultimately. And, you've got to think, also the other thing is that people have to realize that your consumers are changing. You're going to be selling to, my kids who are, okay, I mean, right now they're 8 and 9, but sorry?
I said they're way smarter and they already know these things, right? They already
Absolutely. I mean, they come home saying, we can't eat fish because it has plastics in it. We can't light crackers because it gives you a cough. Before you reach them, you're going to be selling to the Greta Thunbergs of the world. And this is a very, very aware, demographic of consumer. So yes, you sell now, but are you ready to sell to these guys in 5 years' time? Is my question. So I think sustainability has to be at the forefront of absolutely anything that you do.
Before you go, just one last key takeaway for our viewers, for women who are starting their businesses. You yourself are a woman entrepreneur. So any one tip, advice that you'd like to give them?
So I believe that you've got to be really thick-skinned. Okay, so don't get phased too easily. I think just keep learning. Failure is only failure if you don't learn, right? And keep evolving, keep moving forward. I think even the proudest moment for me when I was awarded the Nari Shakti was it was all great, but it was when Maneka Gandhi at one point, the Honorable Maneka Gandhi at one point told us that this isn't for what you've done, but this is for what you can do. So I think that, it was probably the most motivating thing that one could hear. And I think the biggest injustice is not trying. So for all the women entrepreneurs out there, I hope you keep trying, keep learning, and you keep progressing in your journey.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rhea. Thanks a lot. So that's a wrap from me and Rhea talking about sustainability, only on the Original Women Network, the platform that shows you how to own it like a boss. See you next Saturday for another topic.